Alright, we are live for day 2 of Advent of Code. That all looks good. We have 13 minutes. I'm gonna set my input, so sleep 13 minutes and 30 seconds. And then we go. Until then, it might be. Oh, excuse me, jeez. It might be nice to do a little bit of a review of some of yesterday's solutions. So this is what I ended up with. And there are a few other ideas here. So one, you could reverse these strings and then also reverse these and just have the same search, right, for the first digit and have these all reversed, and that should work fine and you wouldn't need to change any of the rest of the code. You could also, so what I do here is like find every index of every occurrence. Right, that's really not necessary. We could do some sort of short circuiting, and we could do that by like taking at each index at each slice here, or in Scala, all the tails of a string. In that case, we would then, for each of those, search and check if it starts with either of these or is a digit. And then in those cases, we do our early quit. And those are some things other people have done. So until then, I will just do a little bit of a review of some of these solutions. Oh, what happened here? This is so long. Okay, the whole problem's in there. Yes, the yearly Advent of Code stream. Xproof. It's been a while. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Are you doing Advent of Code this year? Okay. So here, I feel like you could just put these. You don't necessarily have to put this in the map, right? Like these can be an array, and you can just use an index. I see what's going on. Regex. Like maybe I should have just used one of these. I thought about it, but every time I do regexes, I have to like stop and think and look it up. It's not something I write on a daily basis. But maybe that's something I should like really lean into sometimes, so I just feel better about whipping them out. It's never my first go-to, especially when it's as easy as like finding first occurrence of whatever. I haven't done leak code in a bit, so I don't know if I'm gonna be good enough for AOC. I should be able to do the first couple days. Oh yeah, totally, totally. Anyone's good enough for AOC, and they're different. Frankly, I don't really enjoy leak code that much, but AOC problems are fun. They're interesting, and I don't know. It's nice to have it more focused on the puzzle and the solution than on just algorithms and performance. Oh yeah, they did make day one a little bit harder this year, and I think that's because of ChatGPT topping the leaderboards first few days last year. So this year it was a solution that ChatGPT couldn't do. I mean, it's still an easy one. It took me 15 minutes, and I was expecting like 5 minutes. So take that for what it's worth. Here's ChatGPT trying to solve it, and they sort of realize it, um, and they still don't manage to get the right answer. I don't know exactly what's wrong, but it's likely they're missing some of the overlapping number words cases. You first heard about ChatGPT this year, huh? Yeah, ChatGPT was definitely used last year. Yeah, that's why they added the amendments to the fact this year. Um, for some reason, I'm not getting notifications when and I don't know what that's about. Let me just do some reloading of things here. Oh, whoops, we don't want that. Let me see. Let's make sure we have this. This is why we show up just a little bit early. All right. Yeah. So Regis, I mean, honestly, this is very. Is this for both parts? Yeah, this is for both parts. And then how do they do just the digits too? Numbers match. Oh, 1 to 9 is in there too, of course. Yeah, great. I mean, honestly, this is a great solution. I should just use. Is there anything else really in here? Yeah, this is a great way to do it. I should have pulled that out. That's how you get under 5 minutes there, writing a solution like this. I don't know. Maybe I should bone up on them. Let me see. Oh, I like this solution here. So we get the tails. I studied math in school. Yeah, I still keep up with math. Sort of like I don't know. A year ago, I was giving a talk on group theory and Roots cube and functional programming, and I cracked open an algebra book, um, a modern algebra book, earlier in the year to prepare that talk. But I watched some like math YouTubers, Three Blue One Brown, and a few of those other channels. So I enjoy it, but as a hobbyist, I'm not a true mathematician. But as a young'un, I was really into math. Did math camps every summer. Yeah, I like this. This is a really good use of index where. Oh, did I forget a lot of stuff? I've probably forgotten a lot of stuff. Uh, I'm pretty sure I remember like most of my high school math. Like linear algebra, I'd be kind of dusty on. And I never studied linear algebra in a way. Um, I wouldn't be able to apply it really to any computer science or coding projects. So I one day I do want to crack open another linear algebra book and learn it as it applies to coding. Okay, more regexes. A little bit more verbose than the other, but a good approach. Okay, this is sort of a Similar idea. Honestly, making them all be strings allows you to generalize a little bit more. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like this. I like everyone's solutions. I select my own. This one's interesting. Similar idea. Hmm, wonder if it's less efficient. It's probably less efficient turning turning the strings into lists, though. What's this? Oh, yes. I mean, I'm still happy with mine. Like it's short and all the meat of it is right here and then unfold. Okay, we are starting in 3 minutes. Let me just do a double check of things. Geez, am I ready? Hey there, how's it going? Welcome, Q&A. Um, Killen, are you doing advent code this year? I am third on my own leaderboard, so I need to step it up a little bit tonight. I had some missteps last night. I'm more tired tonight. I don't know. I'm hoping to get a really good night's sleep and really sleep in tomorrow. And wish I lived on the West Coast for this. Trying to, fair enough. What language are you using for it? Oh. Oh, who is that? Fez? Fez you, thank you for the follow. Before we start, so here is my leaderboard code if you'd like to join along. If you want to chat about problems afterwards and avoid spoilers, then we could do that in my Discord. Okay, we are starting in 30 seconds. I don't want to get too distracted. Let's just wait here. Okay, 10 seconds. Here we go. Java so far. Yeah. Scala's worth trying out. I think it's more beginner friendly than people give it credit for. Okay, so I'm just starting with the input. This is interesting. So different games with different numbers of, I don't know what that means yet. Comma separate and semicolons. We get to do some parsing. That will be fun. Okay, so we are launched from the trebuchet. We're at Snow Island. A small bag with some cubes to play a game. Cubes are red, green, or blue. He will hide a secret number of cubes of each color in the bag, and your goal is to figure out information about the number of cubes in a bag. Okay. Elf will reach into the bag, grab some cubes, show them to you, and put them back into the bag. He'll do this a few times per game. So there's only one bag. Do these all represent one bag? Oh, I guess each game has a new bag. Play several games, record this information from each game. Okay, so game ID. semicolon list of subsets of cubes. Okay. Right. So in this one, first time you pulled out 10 green, 9 blue, 1 red. Okay. Not necessarily 0. It's not going to be even listed. And it's the third handful. Okay. Three sets of... Excuse me. Three sets are revealed, then put back again. The elf would like to know which game would have been possible if the bag contained only 12 cubes, 13 green cubes, and which games would have been possible. Okay, great. So this is just a parsing problem, and then we just filter them by the ones that have information of at least that many cubes. So let's represent a game, and each game is a list of hands. And a hand is just a list of, let's say it's a map. So a map from color to a number. So we have a list of those. I don't know. Let's do this. Hand is just this map. I don't understand. Some are solving it already. Oh, are they are they already done? Oh, okay, yeah, I just need to speed up on this. So let's get to parsing this. The input dot collect. So case game. No, we have game ID. Okay, so game has an ID. I don't know why I'm making this. It's not overcomplicate this. A game has an ID and a list of hands. And then we have the hands right here. And this can just actually be a map because we're going to get every line here. You don't mean to. Yeah, people are fast. Honestly, part one here might be GPTable. Maybe people are using GPT. Okay, so hands. Okay, we'll call this string. So hands. Let's take these and split them. So hands string. That's split by semicolon space. And then for each of those, I guess we have a string of some sort. Let's make this a list. Hmm. Okay. There are a few ways we could do this. I suppose we could split this on. We could split it on commas. Hmm. And then we'll map some cases here. Yeah. So we split this, And we can do case. Maybe this is a collect. So let's say we have M blue, then yes, exactly. GPT or Copilot knows what I want. So red and green. And then this whole thing gets turned into a map. So I'm just going to do this and follow to map at the end. Okay, so now we have a list of hands. So we call this hands equals whatever's going on there. And then we have id.toInt and hands. Perfect. Games. So this is all games for each print line. Okay, these look good. And now we have like a valid checkmate each game. So F valid for part 1. And which games would have been possible if the bag contained only 12? Okay, so we filter anything out that has a case where it's more than that. So this is Boolean. And game hands. So we have a check for red. And you know, this, let's do it with default value. So a default value of 0, exactly. And in fact, I'm not going to write a function for this. I'm just going to do a filter. So games.filter. Okay, so let's get the blue values. Games.map. So game.hands.map. And each of these, we so we get blue and .max, and max should be less than or equal to 14. Yeah, in fact, I might change my syntax here a little. So I could just have 3 lines of exactly that same thing. So we filter for blue and red 13. Oh wait, no, there's 12 red. Let's put this in order. So we have 12 red, 13 green, and 14 blue. Okay. So determine which games would have been possible if the bag had been loaded. So we'll call this val possible games. And what's the actual answer? What is the sum of the IDs of those games? So now ands equals possible games. Oh, map ID.sum. It knows exactly what I was thinking. 2239. Wait, 10 minutes? That took me 10 minutes? I can't believe that. It felt smooth. I didn't run into any bugs. I was just slow, I guess. Okay. I'm curious about the leaderboard. I'm the first to finish part 1. Cool. Great. As you continue to walk, was a fewest number of cubes of each color that could have been in the bag to make the game possible. Oh, okay, so that's just max of each of these. So, def fewest cubes. So given a game, okay, so games.map or game.hands. And we get red, and we'll get the max, right? And we do that for each color. It knows exactly what we want. Perfect. And then do you still want the ID? The sum of the power of those sets? Okay. Let me figure out what power is. The power of a set of cubes is equal to the number. Let me put myself behind the screen here. The number of red, green, and blue cubes multiplied together. Okay. So we should just change this to power calculation. Power, and we multiply each of those. I see why they have to multiply it, because add can clash a lot. The sum of the powers of those sets. So, games dot map power dot sum 83435 83435. Bingo. Okay, we're done. And I feel good about that one. I already feel good about my solution. There's not a lot I would change, honestly. Well, let's commit it. Day 2. And what is this? 2023 day 2 as solved on stream. And push that. Okay, and if you're curious to see this code, what is my command here? Let's see, GitHub. The source code is right there in chat. Yeah, thank you. So I'm curious how I did stats-wise. Let's see, personal times. Okay, I'm not in the top 1,000. I'm hoping to be in the top 1,000 more often this year. I was close on part 2. My delta time was not too bad, 3 minutes. There were no hitches. I should just do all of that faster, I guess. I don't know how to make myself faster. Do you see where I tripped up? I don't know, I think I'm just a slow thinker tonight. But thank you. Let me check other leaderboards. So this is the Scala Center leaderboard. No one is there quite yet. Midnight Simon's leaderboard. Oh, it's Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi just has a link to his stream. That's great. Okay, I was gonna say, I bet he was first. Yeah, 4 minutes and 6 minutes. Chris? Oh, I just edged him out of part 2. LLKK, that is a new name I've not seen around before. Oh, so this is like a three-way tie for third or second today. I'll take it. But Chi-Chi blew us out of the water. Out of the water. And, well, unfortunately, there are no solutions to browse right now because I don't know people who are done and sharing their solutions yet. Um, okay, I have a to-do list for Evan Code. So there's still let me pull it up here. Um, I might turn the rest of my time here tonight into working on overlay, perhaps. So I want to be able to have a timer go up and notice as people finish, and you know, the 1 star mark and the 2 star mark, and just have that on screen, count down to ending, and then like a stopwatch style timer for the rest. And I've never made an overlay before, so this would be a learning experience for me. um, so I could brainstorm that. Perhaps I should brainstorm that offline and start. Eh, it doesn't hurt to do some architecture on stream. And I also have my standard library. That might start coming into play. What do we have here? So we have point.scala. I have some to-dos here. Okay, this is a library of things that I think might come up often. A point type class comes up very often. And these are operations that might be common, so we're often checking if they're in bounds, distance to other points. Sometimes we're adding them with other points. We might move them by a direction. And sometimes we have like lists of directions, so I have an enum for directions as well. One thing I haven't added here is rotating around another point. So how would I go about that? Left rotate. And this n would be quarter turns. Yeah. And we get another point. So I'm going to call this rotate clockwise explicitly. We might want to counterclockwise as well. And let me check. I feel like I mean, I'm doing this because I've done it before. I've probably done this before somewhere. So let's do rotate 2020. Oh, I felt like there's one just last year. Maybe I called it rot. Death rot. Okay, there is some of that. This is a three-dimensional rotation. Well, I swear it'll come in handy. So we're gonna do this. Actually, in this case here, what is our frame of reference for a rotation? Let me check this. This is 2021 day 19. Okay. Oh, okay. This is rotating with 0 as a frame of reference. In which case, let me just do an example. So let's say let's say we are like 4 across and 1 up. And then if we rotate that clockwise once, You know what? I'm not gonna do turns as a parameter. Not quite yet. Leave this undefined. So if we rotate clockwise, this should equal point. Oh, it knows. Okay, so this one was like pointing to the right, and now this one is pointing um, down, and then slightly. Wait, is -4 right? Yeah, -4 is the down part, and 1 means slightly to the right. Okay, that's what we should get. And basically we copy. Oh. Oh my god, I don't even have to think. This is great. I wasted time thinking when Copilot could think for me. Okay. Def rotate counterclockwise. Okay, and this test here. Oh, this is not a worksheet. So what I'm going to do is open up a new worksheet for day 3, and we're going to use that as our testing grounds. For day 2, we're just going to resave this as day 3. And let's import. So import AOC.point. So point for 1 dot rotate. Let's rotate it clockwise. Yeah, sure. And we could put tests in there as we go. Okay, so let's say we want to rotate around another point. That might be... Honestly, that might actually be a little bit less common. But if we did want to rotate around another point, basically we could subtract that point, perform a rotation, and then add that back. So I suppose as long as we had like a minus, so def minus, yeah, then we can rotate around another point. And in the moment, if I need it, I think I will just do that. Subtract, rotate, and then add back. And if for some reason we need that to be a lot more efficient, we can cross that bridge when we get there, but hopefully that isn't the case. Great. What other to-dos do I have in here? Let me see. Okay, so around our grid type, for the area, we want boundaries. So it has come into play. I remember day 22 last year, where we were folding a cube, we had to get boundaries. And these would be sets of points. Maybe we can get some sort of iterator, but I don't want to impose an order just yet. So def top order. Oh, I have a line type. Ah, yes, that's an excellent idea. I should totally use my line type. Because my line, we can get the points in a line. And that does impose an order, but it's probably a reasonable one. Yeah. Cool. Right top. Oh, this is great. Copilot is pretty smart. Okay. Def. I mean, do I even need to write library code in advance if it's going to be this smart? I mean, it's only able to be this smart because there is already library code for a line. The symmetry here. Line is kind of like a, line is a 2D or a 1D area. And I don't know, maybe at some point we need an area 3D. The very first time, we had cubes, day 22, 2021. And here, I guess it was also called an area type. But okay, it had a Y range as well. Whereas, so this one is defined in terms of ranges, and here, like maybe, oh, you know what? I'm thinking I should define this in terms of ranges, right? Because this is why. If we're defining an area, and it's just like area 3, 10, 5, 6, 15, I don't know. It's less clear, right? If we had instead 5 to 15 and 3 to 10, yeah, then it's more clear that at least one of these is an X and a Y, and then you'll probably think, okay, this is the horizontal. You just do X, Y, Z, right? So I think I will switch this around. And then we can define these in terms of X range and Y range. Except this range, should this range be an interval? So here on the right-hand side, we had overwritten like the Scala range. And we did that in particular so that we could treat them like for sets. Being if we do that, we'll have to add some syntax. So Scala already has nice syntax for ranges, right? You type REPL, so you type 1 to 10, right? And can do like, I don't know, like a print line on that. And I like having this syntax, but I have some issues with this type. Maybe I should wait to convert them to intervals until I actually need them. So maybe these should be actual ranges. Because honestly, in most cases, I might be expecting an actual Scala range. So we'll do that and convert only as necessary. So we have later X range. Go. I wonder if it knows. X range dominant. Great. Now, right? Wait. If it knows what I'm doing next, there we go. Oh, this is so nice. Okay, and then we no longer need this. Why do I have until? Why do I have until instead of 2? It's the right boundary. I should write tests for this. That stuff like this doesn't creep in, because that'll be a bug, and if I'm trusting this library in the heat of the moment, that'll be a pain to debug. And in this case is this isn't right anymore. In fact, there's a better way to do this. We'll just do x range dot size. There we go. Height is y range dot size. That way we don't have to do any arithmetic, because I think it'd be like right minus left plus 1. Yeah. Oh, and you know what? Another advantage of doing it this way is it forces some sort of so if you're just writing this, you could for example write something like 5 2, and if this is supposed to be left and right, now you have like an uh you know negative space, and there's no checking on there. But being forced to write a range enforces some sort of checking. um I wonder how this would work with empty ranges. Yeah, this is why I need a test suite. So I'll leave as a note. And expand. Oh, so we can do left minus n, to right plus n. Expand the area. So I use the area, so often you might have grids, and if they're expanding, what I like to have is like a set of points, rather than a 2D array, because then I have to expand. It gets messy expanding a 2D array, and just adding points to a set or a map is a lot easier. Um, it's finding some sort of error there. You don't even need to do a copy structure, just do the area. And then this here, 2, like why the top? I think we want bot is the max. Oh, we can't be mixing this up. Bot is a y range dot max. Yes, technically, the way we're doing it, like if we're to parse this from a grid, what we probably have is like y is going down, right? Because that's just a natural index of it. So that does make sense. Um, but the thing is, y range can be defined from smallest to largest, which is going to be from top to bottom, right? So top minus n to bot plus n. That makes perfect sense. But let us. Okay, there's more errors there. Okay, so this works, and if it contains a point, there we go. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. At some point, we really do need to write tests. Um, Honestly, instead of doing a test suite, I'm tempted just to do tests and worksheets. I think it's nice. It's a faster interactive experience. You don't actually have to stop to run your tests. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll save a file as just point tests. Back. Let's do that right now. Point tests. Wait. Okay, and before we do this grid stuff, I want to look at how I've used different kinds of grids before. I'm not sure if I should use a map, and if I have a grid, it might have a type parameter of like what is actually contained in the grid. And then separately, I might want to have like an actual two-dimensional array type grid and utilities around that, but I don't know. Maybe I don't, because I usually I usually find with those I don't really need a type. I can just work directly with a 2D array, and it already has a lot of nice methods. Like it already has the transpose method that would flip it along the diagonal, right? Just sort of built in there. But I don't think that's as necessary. I think I tried to define a grid of some sort at some. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I started defining some sort of a library code at some point last year. And this has no package name, so I'm surprised this isn't really messing with my namespace in the worksheets. Oh, look, I have great. I like the names here. So I couldn't think of this earlier. So you can have adjacent points, and sometimes in some problems it's just up, down, left, right, and sometimes it's all 8 of the surrounding points. So I think it makes sense to call those 8 that are around its surrounding. Right? Does that make sense to you? In fact, I think if I'd asked GPT, it might come up with something similar. GPT can sometimes be great for naming things. Let me see. Where should I put that? I have to do this on a separate page because I don't want people to see what I've been asking GPT. I ask a lot of dumb questions. Okay. I'm programming with a point class representing a grid. I need to distinguish between points, between tiles that are north, south, west, between 4 tiles that are north, south, east, and west, and the 8 tiles that include the diagonals. Okay. And my question is, how would you name these 2 sets to distinguish them? Let's see. Cardinal neighbors, all neighbors, diagonal neighbors, surrounding neighbors, direct, adjacent. Okay, those aren't bad ideas. I do like mine better. And I'll just see if they can guess which is supposed to be which. Yeah, adjacent. Makes sense. And surrounding. Reading Scala with indentation syntax is such a big improvement for... Okay. Yeah, the tooling has... So there's a recent post about this. So there is... Like, the code formatters are fine. Inside VS Code, sometimes I get some... like a new line, and it doesn't know where to indent me, and I find that pretty annoying. But I mean, what you could do is like save the file and run the formatter. So like I have a formatter here right now. So it just did some stuff. And I saw a post recently talking about how the style guide in Scala 3 moving forward will be to have four space indents from now on, just to make things more clear, because now things are more fully indented. We do run into issues of clarity. And in that style guide, they recommended adding something to your formatter rules and also adding something. There is like a dot file that you can add to your repo that guides your editor on how to do formatting and indents and whatnot. And it's cross-platform, so it works on multiple editors, not just VS Code. And I should look that up and see if that helps me with my new line indent problems. But yes, I do like the readability. I like that it looks more like Python. Like I still have a soft spot for Python. And it's nice not having to fiddle with the with the braces all the time. Not that that's always fun. But when I was using Emacs, I also used to use Emacs for like a closure and for scheme. And the tooling around managing parentheses is so nice in these environments, and it's not an issue at all. Like coming from another language that is only sort of like half parenthesized, you would you might see scheme and be like, oh, that's such a pain to manage. But I don't know, like you edit directly on the basically when you're editing parentheses structure, you're basically editing the abstract syntax tree of your code, right? So you're editing, the tree rather than editing just text. And it's such a nice experience. And with Emacs, I was able to sort of reuse those tools in Scala for editing my braces. I don't have a good plugin for doing that with VS Code yet. I'm sure they must be out there, just haven't found it yet. But now it's less of an issue because of this. Side note, I think I'd actually quite enjoy a variation of Scala syntax that was like a Lisp. I like the move in either direction towards either indents, significant white space, or towards fully parenthesized because it is actually a nice experience. Okay, so let's define surrounding and the diagonals. We get the diagonals now. Oh, and look at this. So this had a clockwise and a counterclockwise. In fact, I like the shorter names. I might rename these here. I I'm gonna take the code though, and that is no longer my test file. Oh, I don't even have a JSON defined in here. I wonder. I want. I wonder if it was just seeing my code here and copying it, or if it was like thinking that. And where are these defined? Yeah. Okay. Copy this. I can't believe I'd done this before and forgot that I'd done it. It must have been like a late night and I was bored and just refactoring things and decided to do that. And of course, put these aliases in an extension. There's an idea. Yeah. And Manhattan distance. Of course, that should come into play. Oh, wait, is this the Manhattan distance? This is Manhattan distance right here. And usually we don't end up working with floats in additive code, so I'm not going to bother with the triangular Pythagorean distance. It's just a left. But these aliases extension. Idea. Because so one thing you could do with Scala is it's sort of import syntax, right? So it could just be like import point at first, and then you import something else that gives you your syntax around that point. And these are like one-letter names, which could clash with things, I suppose. For now, I'll leave it like this until I actually run into issues with that surrounding. And it knows. It knows. How does it know? Did it just use? I mean, this is a reasonable way to order it, right? Northeast, southeast. Yeah. It's always north before south, east before west. So I don't know what's going on there. Def surrounds this point. Use knife. This. So at other point. Interesting. I mean, yeah, it must be useful. Oh, is this a point that surrounds another point? Okay, I guess it's just the adjacent to part. I wonder if I define this in terms of Manhattan distance. It's probably reasonable. Okay, adjacent surrounding, adjacent to, and surrounds. And this is just this. And we have some change in naming conventions here. Since this is library code now, I don't mind naming parameters with like full names. Other. Locally, it could just be. This is an interesting use of locally. I wonder if that's probably not clear, is it? I mean, this is kind of cheeky. It's not necessary at all, right? So this just allows me to define these two variables, but only if we're not short circuiting. I think it's fine. Yeah, this seems less useful. And it seems like it's mostly there to have something like adjacent to, which I don't know if I've used something like that before. Um, but now that I have it, I might as well use it at some point. Plus, I like having a name. Plus, it's so overloaded. Like I might add it as an alias, and I forget the rules around symbolic names in Scala 3. They updated it a little bit. to where you can have it explicitly be tied to a full name. That way, like your editor and things just know what symbols mean. Every time you make a symbol method, it has to have like a real name attached to it as well. And that helps for like compatibility or whatnot. Move. Okay, so I have versions of these that also repeat. I mean, that can be useful. Large problems, right? Where, I don't know, you don't want to do 100 addition, add one operations if all you have to do is plus 100. And in some cases, that could throw a lot. So I like these methods too. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I like this version. I prefer this all together, so we're gonna just replace that. The default times, wait, why would times default to 0? I think you can move in the direction and you don't provide a number of times, it should still move in that direction, so default should be 1. I think that would be less surprising, right? Point that move north. Okay. And move function. So direction as a function. Yes. This is clever, but not so performant. We don't really want to be clever just for the sake of it. I like that it defaults to 1. That makes more sense. Um, yeah, and if it is a function, then it is hard to multiply that. So, like, we could have a concept of a move that, you know, is a function from point to point, but in such a way that moves can be composed in an efficient manner, right? Like, normally when you're just composing functions, you're just going to apply one and apply another. But if a move is like move right 3 times, and another move is move up 4 times, then you should just be able to do that in one transformation, get one point to another point without like 2 function applications. So this is a sense where like representing a function as an object is useful. But I don't think I need that quite yet. So we'll do a to-do. To-do, consider move objects that represent movement functions. So a move object that can be applied to a point to gain another point. Then you compose all those movements at once to get just one move, and then at that point, once they're all composed, then you apply it to a point to get it from its starting point to its end point. But for now, we will not do that. I think that might be a case where if it comes up, then I'll just add it to the library for future reference. Or if I'm feeling bored, maybe I'll add it here. Ah. So we have an extension method on matrices. Oh, applying points. Yeah, applying a point to some sort of grid. You get this is good to have because you think points, you think x, y all the time, and when you're actually getting it, then you have to apply y first and then x. So I think it's better just to have this and avoid that error altogether. So I will have that in here. Oh, and here's that area again. I just talked about this, how it's probably better to have X range and Y range instead of defining it in terms of left, right, top, bot. I'm I'm rethinking all, even down to like the width should be just be range.size. So we're not doing like integer arithmetic and potentially making an error there. I These are all great ideas, but I already had them, I guess. I'm not that original. I'm just plagiarizing myself. Um, it does feel good to know that I'm not just taking stuff from Copilot. Okay, so there's a contains method here. Whoops, where are we? Class area. Okay. Do I have it? I have a contains method. All points in a grid, an iterator. Okay. Yeah, totally. So the points iterator. What we could do here, iterator, and that should convert them all to I know the right thing. Format the document. And drawing. Drawing, honestly, a great idea. So we have some function for point to character that decides what to draw each. Yep, I like it. I like it. I often draw as a debugging method and define a function just like this. And look at me use mutation here. Okay, and creating an area from a grid. It's my to-do right here. Um, and then finally I have a case class grid. Get the area of a grid. Honestly, area should probably just be an extension method on any two-dimensional index seek. Because that's the only thing we're using here, really. Oh, and then here's a clever one. So using export. So now on any two, okay, I like this because like any 2D array, I can call that x range and get, well, the x range of that grid instead of just getting like the first, normally I do like grid.head dot indices and define that as my x range. So I actually kind of like this. And you apply a point. Wait, didn't I have a variation of this like above an extension method? Yeah. But this is on a case class. Hmm? Hmm. I mean, I suppose I could see the reason I don't like this case class is that I'm not gonna have a lot of the methods I might have on a 2D array, right? I'd have to call it grid.rows.transpose, for example, transpose this. And I can define transpose in this, but then it's just eh. no need. So I guess what I'll do is I'll have an extension method get me the area. And I don't know if this means I can do this export nicety. And this area would be like calculated each time, right? Supply method. Hmm. I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, Mr. Chat. Oh, reading Scala. Ah, yes, yes, I did catch your chat earlier. Okay. Well, I think I might be coming to a good ending point here. We'll just do a few more of these. So, object area. Where is it? Right, I haven't defined the object yet. We were just gonna copy paste this because it seems great. Yeah, y range, potentially 0. Wait, why is that the y range? Y range should just be matrix.indices. Yeah. So clearly I never used this because this is wrong. Y range, X range. Okay, so if it is empty, the matrix is empty, then you don't really have a width. So we default to that. Otherwise, we get the indices. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And apply to a map. Y's and X's. Okay, given a map of points, get the bounding box for it. Yeah, this is a good use case. I think what I'll do is separate tests for another stream, just so that there's this rest in between where, you know, I verify what I was thinking this stream next time when I'm actually writing tests for these things. And okay, yes, the old original definition. So we do have both apply methods. This might only come to play. I mean, I probably won't want to use this. This might come to play if I already have those values in scope, I suppose. I mean, otherwise I would just be writing this code anyway. I don't know. I don't know if that's as useful. Okay, line is in here too. Yeah. Okay, I do the area from a grid done. Set map grid and 2D grid. So this is a 2D grid here. I'll have to go through and think about the times when I use a set of points versus a map of points. Yeah. And then how I might implement that as its own class that includes an area. And yeah, I'm not sure I want this, but I might. I'm just gonna copy this into here. Okay, we have a to-do. Well, this is great. Now I wonder what other files like this I had hidden here somewhere. I mean, it's not too hard to check that. Okay, this feels like some progress. I'm liking what's in here. I know we should have a 2 range. Yeah, let's define it right now. Def2 range equals min 2 max. And we need like a from range. And okay, we should then be able to apply this to a range. And this would be range.min, range.max. And let me double check this here. So 1 to 10 dot max. But what if there's 1 until 10? It should be 9. Okay. Great. Because I know there is a name for this. I know. There's some other name for this that would vary between 9 and 10. Depending, like it would still give you a 10, like the right side. Because range would be a case class that has those 2 values. But yeah, we can forget about that. Okay, so we can get it from a range. Perfect. Okay, now this overload no longer works. We have 2 options, and wait, why not? Why not just apply it? I don't know why it wouldn't just apply it to. I guess we could do something like this. Yeah, sure, that works. Okay. This is 200 lines of code that I won't have to write later this year. I'm going to call it a night right about here. Before I do, maybe I'll take another look at the leaderboards, and then we'll find someone to raid. If any of you have suggestions, I'd be happy to hear them. So let's see what's going on the leaderboards here. Here's a Scala Center. People are starting to come in. And we've got 9 people here. I wonder where we are globally. So I think I have the global leaderboard up somewhere. Here it is. On the global leaderboard, the fastest was done in part 1 in 1 minute. Yeah, that's fast. Oh, 6 minutes to get top 100. Honestly, I feel like 6 minutes was achievable for me. I know, I'll have to watch my replay and think about why I was slow. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you found it helpful, and thank you for the follow. And for part 2, oh wait, oh no, this is for part 1. Okay, I was gonna say 6 minutes seems achievable for part 1. For part 1, 4 minutes. 4 minutes, it's faster. What was my delta? It is 3 minutes, right? I get 6 minutes for part 1. I can definitely shave off some time. I'll have to watch my replay to think about like where I was actually stumbling because it felt smooth to me. Um, okay, let's find someone to raid. Twitch, advent of code. Turn down the music. Oh, she got 132. That's great. Yeah, I see Scala every now and then, but not often enough. And often I see, well, when I see Scala on stream, it's usually not someone that does Scala every day, right? Like for advent of code, maybe some people are doing like a polyglot advent of code, and they might do Scala a day or two. Like they're out there. I know. Well, they just don't stream, which is a shame because I'd like to watch how other people write Scala. It's not often enough. Where is X? You know, where is X? One of the first people that ever rated me, and I haven't seen them online in a while. Maybe we say we say hi to them. I don't know if they're still working on it. Yeah, let's do that. I think that'll be fun. Okay, raid. Where is X? Okay, well, thanks everyone for stopping by. Thank you for the follows and good luck with your own advent of code. And say hi to Where's X.
I don't even know if AOC is like a command. Try like bang help. That's a lot of commands. You can add a command for AOC. You can bang help. Oh shit. Bang help bang add command. So can you do bang add command bang AOC? Oh my. Oh yo, this is not. Oh no. No. You're making my chatbot do things. Oh my god, it's Juice. Hi, Juice. What's up? I haven't seen you in forever. Hi, everyone. It's my girl crush. Please say hi. She's amazing.
Okay. Oh, I should actually end my